What's good, everybody? It's your boy JTL, Opposite from the Norm. And real quick, I just want to let y'all know about Opposite from the Norm apparel t-shirts. Brought to you by GFam G-Wear. You like our show and our content? Then go to gfament.com and click on G-Store, and there you can purchase an Opposite from the Norm t-shirt. Also, you can check out other great tees that represent true kings and true queens as well. Shirts that motivate and make you feel great. Once again, that's gfament.com and click on the G-Store link to get your apparel tees. Now back to the show. Chill!
Yeah, what's good, everybody? This is your BL right here.
What up? What up? This your boy HD. What's up? What's up?
About to start calling nigga late D. We taking 10 minutes to
Ain't
say.
no damn late.
Anyway, yeah, so we about to do another one. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, and definitely make sure you subscribe. So we finna go ahead, take it back to the OG format. So right now we're gonna start it off with the news, and my partner HD, he gonna go ahead and start the news off first. So go ahead, man, get into it.
All right, so I'm gonna start off with sports, and this information comes via GoodMorningAmerica.com, ESPN.com, and several other sports outlets. Washington football team made an announcement on Monday, historic announcement, naming Jason Wright the league's first ever black team president. He spent 7 years in the league as a running back, signed with the San Francisco 49ers originally as an undrafted free agent, and he played with the Falcons, the Browns, and the Cardinals. And during his career, he was a team captain and was a NFLPA player representative for the Cardinals during the 2011 NFL lockout. This brother has an MBA with honors from the University of Chicago Booth School of Business, and after his career, he became a partner with the global strategy and management consulting firm McKinsey and Company. At age 38, he's the currently the youngest team president in the league and the fourth former NFL player to become a president of a team. And this is a black brother who, hopefully can move forward and doing his thing. He does have a black wife, black family, so that's another good sign for him. And I hope that he does well.
Yeah, and I hope he not some damn coon too, like just cause he black, and you know how it
Right.
is.
Yeah.
Mighty all of a sudden they hiring a black president for their team while they changing their racist ass name or that football team. Now they want to hire somebody black, like that's actually making a statement. When you know most of the time they'll do that, and then that black person don't have no say because they just a token.
Right. And they also the I was about to call him the old name. My bad. The Washington football team, they also along with the changing of the name, and they trying to also still some of the shareholders are still trying to get Daniel Snyder, who's the team owner, out. They also had some things going on with sexual and verbal harassment going on too. So they had a lot of shit going on. So that brother got to come in there and work through a lot of this bullshit. But like you said, hopefully he's not a coon and a tap dancer. Hopefully, he makes some changes in there.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and switch over to politics news. This is via CNN. So, a Senate Intelligence Committee report detailing how Russia's 2016 election interference was encouraged by President Donald Trump, 45, and his campaign raises the stakes for the current campaign at a time when Trump is openly amplifying Russian disinformation. The newly released findings and recommendations add to U.S. intelligence officials' warnings that Russia continues to target the 2020 election, specifically Trump's 2020 opponent, Joe Biden. Russian intelligence operatives were closer to top Trump campaign efforts than was previously known in 2016, the report states. The committee also documented continued disinformation from Russia linked people well past the 2016 election. Findings so alarming that the bipartisan Senate committee called for several changes to protect national security in 2020. Campaigns should recognize that campaign staff are attractive targets for foreign intelligence services, the committee said. So, just like I say all the time, what people gotta recognize, man, like I think black people, when we say our vote doesn't matter, we should have researched it a little more. The reason why, and not just us, as you see with the 2016 election, the electoral votes is what put 45 into office, not the people. The people actually voted for Hillary Clinton, and she won by
Right.
almost 3 million votes, and they still put 45 into the office by electoral votes, which
Hmm.
is some bullshit because I looked into it. It's not some computerized system. It's actually out there in Delaware, and those people out there make the decision on what they want to do. So this is something we have to watch for, and we have to be very
Got
smart
some
and
shady white people in Delaware.
yeah, and we have to be cognitive of the situation that's going on. Us as a people over here, we got to stop thinking left or right and start thinking each other. So we can sit around and be mad, oh conservative, oh liberals, when in all actuality we don't control shit. Most of the time, just like they say, Democrats, Republicans do the same thing. We just go along with whatever is clever. So we gotta be smarter than that, y'all.
Excuse me.
All
Now
right,
we're
see,
going
late,
to
late
get
D,
into,
late D.
yo, I'm talking, my man. Shit. So we gonna go into some world news. I picked this because we're going through this pandemic. And this is also from CNN. Nigeria is setting up to resume international flights in and out of the country after shutting down its airports in March to curb the spread of the COVID-19. In a statement released on Monday, flights will resume August 29th from Lagos, the world West Africa's nation's commercial hub. Excuse me. Travel within other cities will follow at a later date. Nigeria currently has more than 49,000 confirmed cases of the virus as of Monday, according to the Nigeria Center of Disease Control. They closed its domestic and international airports March 23rd, leaving room for only evacuation flights for Nigerian citizens stranded in countries like the United States. It also imposed a 4-week lockdown in 3 of its cities and closed down social and religious gatherings as a way to slow down the spread of the virus. The government lifted restrictions on social gathering and religious institutions in June amid increasing COVID-19 numbers, citing the temperature checks in public spaces and mandated use of face masks. Nigeria is not the first African country to open its doors to external travel. Other countries like Senegal and Tanzania have opened their airports to travel as well. Uh, I don't know, man. I think everybody, as we can see now, just not with the United States, but Nigeria and some other places, I kind of feel like people are still rushing to open things back up. If the numbers aren't going down, if the numbers are still rising, or even if they're just steady, I still don't understand the logic behind opening things up to a point where it's kind of like it looks like people are thinking, well, maybe if we just ignore it, it'll go away. It's not going away. And ignoring the issue is not going to solve anything. And by opening up things more and more and more, you're just opening up people, to spreading of the disease. So I don't know. I just think all this shit is backwards, man.
Yeah, for real. And I got some related news on that. This is local news here in the Tampa Bay area. The sheriff's office says Sheriff Bob Gillateri, I don't know how to say his name,
Bob.
I really don't give a fuck, tested positive Friday afternoon. A spokesman says Gillateri's symptoms are mild with no fever or respiratory issues, but does have a loss of taste and smell.
Hmm.
Um, Gillateri will remain home for 10 days and work remotely. He'll also stay in contact with the sheriff's office command staff. Gillateri is the latest sheriff to test positive for COVID-19. Other sheriffs include Osceola County Sheriff Russ Gibson, Vassala County Sheriff Mike Chitwood, Gilchrist County Sheriff Bobby Schultz, and St. Lucie County Sheriff Ken Mascara, along with Corrections Secretary Mark Lynch. So this is the thing. You got a lot of people that are head people that are catching these things. And it's like people are not being careful. You know what I'm saying? What's so sad is like I see police officers all the time, like they might be in Wawa's or something like that, and they don't have on no fucking mask. And I'm like, okay,
Nothing.
how you gonna uphold the law that is mandated, but you ain't got on no fucking mask? And this is what tripped me out. Why is it that when they beating the shit out of black people and they was killing George Floyd, God rest his soul, no officers want to intervene, but they want to intervene on this. They want to say, "Oh
Hmm.
no, that ain't right." Like one officer I seen, one jack was like, "He ain't gonna arrest nobody or give out no citations for not wearing a mask." But you will sit there and watch them kill and beat the shit out of a black person that's unarmed,
Right.
that's not doing nothing wrong. This whole shit is hypocrisy, man, for real.
Yeah, and I definitely concur with what you're saying because I see it all the time too. It's funny you said Wawa. I mean, I was just in there briefly yesterday, seeing an officer walking in there, no mask on, and then another one came in there, no mask on. So it's like shit. These officers are around here spreading the damn disease, yet they want to be telling us what to do.
Mm.
All right, and then for my last news topic, going into the finance world, this is from CNN Business. The SP 500 closed at an all-time high on Tuesday for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic hit the United States. The index, which is the broadest measure of Wall Street, has been hovering in record territory for days, but repeatedly fell short of reaching the milestone. Tuesday was the final day. It closed up at zero point 0.2, the first record since February 19th. And just for those who may not know about the S&P 500, this is something that I brought up because I'm gonna, the next couple of weeks, I want to do actual show on this, just speaking more to our black people about finances and learning about stocks and investments. But the SP 500 index is a, market capitalized weighted index of the 500 largest U.S. Publicly traded companies. The S&P is a float weighted index, meaning company market capitalizations are adjusted by the number of shares available for public trading. So the this record is a big deal because it means it only took Wall Street 5 months to go from the most recent, after the pandemic sell off in March to a new peak. This would make the COVID bear market the shortest in history at just 1.1 months, said S&P Dow Jones Howard Silverblatt. Stocks fell into a bear market during the spring sell-off. The market climbed higher on a combination of unprecedented fiscal and monetary stimulus in response to the pandemic, as well as hopes for a swift economic rebound. And this is important because, with the pandemic going on, a lot of the stocks and different companies are going up and down, due to, they may be closing, not being open at full capacity, and also with the spending of money, because some of these, these companies, their numbers are falling because people aren't, spending money. There was something that went on that I was reading about when that first stimulus check went out. Some of these companies like Amazon and Walmart seen a big swing, because people were spending money. But that $1,200 that goes really quickly. So I brought that up because it's very important if you are someone who are making investments to be watching, if the stocks are going up and down.
Yeah, and we definitely got to do, God willing, do a show on that, man, and keep educating our people. So,
Hmm.
we'll switch over to my last topic, which is going to be entertainment news. So, if any of you guys may have seen this already, I kind of talked about it, but it was briefly. So I'm gonna bring it up again in entertainment news. So yesterday, or should I say last night, which was the 18th at 7 p.m. My son, shout out to that
Oh
brother, my
Lord,
son, much respect. He did a live Instagram live with bitch ass dick sucking riding akon, and he
the
was
capital
basically,
coon, the biggest coon that we got right now.
I'm telling you, he outbeating Terry Crews right now. So they had a back and forth dialogue about what he was doing, and my son, he kept it real with him. He kept trying to say, Akon bitch ass kept trying to say that him and my son is cut from the same cloth, and my son told him straight
Definitely
up,
not.
"No, you're not," You're not, because you doing something I wouldn't do. And he kept talking about how, oh, well, you keep, when it comes to street niggas, and my son said some real shit. He like, no, let's stop saying street niggas and let's talk about black men. I'm not no street nigga. I'm a real nigga, but at the same time, we talking about morals as a man. And he kept trying to say Akon with his bitch ass, oh, well, you got to do what you got to do for your family. And he kept bringing out, okay, so what about when he snitched and told on other people's family and got them
Right.
arrested? What about their families? What about Chief Keef and all the people he put hits on? And Casanova, what about their families if God forbid something would have happened to these young brothers? What about their kids? So he kept trying to talk about, oh, well, you got to do what you got to do and blase squaze, and that's what happens in the streets. He said, okay, well, what about when dudes was telling on our black leaders, Martin Luther King, Fred Hampton, and all these other black people that wasn't out there doing no street shit, and they was telling on them and bringing them down and helping to kill them and get them out the way. So the dialogue, I felt he did good because he said a lot of things I was glad he touched on, and he said some things that I didn't even think about. But the one thing he touched on that I really, really wanted him to, when it boiled down, he told him straight up. He said, you failing as a leader. You failing as somebody who's talking about guiding somebody. You keep saying you want to jump in here and give him information. If you would have told him, stop doing what you're doing. If you want to get on my song that means something to the people that we made it for, then you need to make some changes in your life. You need to stop antagonizing people. And real quick, he also brought up how he went over there in Cali and disrespected Nipsey's mural and said that wasn't right. And then Akon bitch ass tried to say, oh, yeah, I agree with you on that. But at the same time, you still walking around here and up here trying to explain or justify him snitching when he was the one that started a lot of this shit. And he the one that switched out on his comrades because the label and stuff told him stop fucking with him. And then next thing you know, he stopped fucking with him. He started giving them money like he was supposed to. So that's why they turned on him. And nobody's talking about that shit. So that's what
And
happened.
if he really felt a certain type of way about that piece of shit disrespecting Nipsey Hussle's mural, you could have reached out to him and like said, yo, that shit that you doing is foul, it's fucked up. I don't want no parts of you. Because disrespecting somebody that's dead and gone is one thing, but disrespecting somebody like Nipsey Hussle, who was definitely one of the few, as I called him before, an angel that was sitting down from God to be with us for, the time that he was, because he was taken from us at an early age. But that man was sent here to do things and help black people, black men, black women, black babies, and you disrespecting this man after he's dead and gone. There's no words for me for Akon. Just no words. For me, he could get hit by a bus and get him the fuck out of here. Because you affiliating yourself with somebody that evil and that despicable, and you still trying to put up for him and vouch for him. And this dude, mysonne, is talking to you in an intelligent, peaceful, positive way, pointing out the ills that you're doing, yet you're still making excuses. You're still putting up for this man. Fuck Akon. That's how I feel. Motherfuck him.
And that's some real shit because my son also pointed out he's earning enemies that he don't even know. And this bitch ass nigga gonna turn around and say, why would you be mad at him for something you ain't got nothing to do with? And he was like, no. Him going
Why
over
would
there
you
and
be mad at
disrespecting
him? Because he has black men sitting in prison. That's
not
why, you
only that,
stupid
but
ass idiot.
not only that, he pointed out the thing that he did with Nipsey Hussle. He was like, he told him straight up, there are people that are willing to kill for Nipsey Hussle's memory and how much respect they have for
And
him.
he also was
That's why.
disrespecting Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke is another young brother who was unfortunately killed, taken way early before his time. That man didn't even get to live to see 25 years old, and he's gone.
I think
Rest
it's
in peace to
21.
him too. Right, rest in peace to him too. And he was making fun and making jokes about him. So this dude is making fun of two young black men who were taken away from us, and he doesn't give a fuck. I don't see how you could even want to be on his side when he's disrespecting two young black men that was taken from us violently and didn't even get to live to see their full potential. And this man thinks it's a joke. He thinks it's funny.
And he want to say that, oh, it's just entertainment to him. That's where you say,
Right.
I can't associate myself with somebody that life and death is all around them in prison time. and I'm gonna associate myself with somebody. And this another thing real quick. My son pointed out. He said, "You just doing it for gain, clout, or bad, whatever you're doing for. Just come out and say that. The same thing me and you've been saying. Just come out and say it."
Exactly.
He trying to say, "No,
That's
that
all
ain't.
you doing it
Yeah,
for.
that's exactly why you doing it."
So what is it? You can't say that this motherfucker is super talented because he's not. And
Yep,
even
that's
if he
another thing.
was,
That's another thing my son said.
even if he was super talented, this motherfucker's disrespecting our fallen comrades. You know, of course, I have so much. I was really proud of the young brother Pop Smoke coming out of Brooklyn and making a name for himself. But Nipsey Hussle is on another level to us. You know what I'm saying? But people like me and you and hundreds of thousands and millions of other brothers and sisters across the world, Nipsey Hussle actually meant something to us. He was bigger than just a rapper. He meant something to us in the community, in our hearts. And for this man to be walking around making fun and making a mockery of Nipsey Hussle, I'm just gonna say it. Somebody need to do something to this motherfucker. Like for real. I'm not gonna sit here and be like somebody should kill him, but if that was to happen, so be it. But somebody need to do something to this motherfucker because obviously he ain't learned nothing. He ain't been taught no kind of lesson. Like somebody need to do something to this motherfucker for real. Fuck all that he got security and all that. Somebody need to do something to this motherfucker because it seems like he's not gonna learn and he thinks
He's
all
not.
this shit is funny and he thinks it's a game.
He's not, and he don't care. And the same thing you said, my son pointed out. This punk ass motherfucker ain't got no talent. His music sucks dick. Anyways, that's it for our news, everybody.